see when you pray to find love. I know somewhere we could be. There's a place where we can go tonight. The rhythm will make it right, where everyone is happy and the sun will shine all night. We could have a good time, let everybody sing. Why don't you let yourself slip out of control? We could have a good time, let everybody sing. Get your feet up on the floor. So when the world feels dark and friends seem hard to find, you know how to light a spark, just to let your worries unwind. When you're down, there's just one way to go. Let us ascend tonight. Everyone could be so happy and the sun will shine all night. Have a good time, let everybody sing.
Hello.
Let yourself slip.
What a banging tune. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hello. I'm your host, me, WillCarne. Tonight we're celebrating all things LGBT+. I myself am the big buzz. This weekend was supposed to be London Pride, but it was cancelled because pandemic. I didn't actually go to London Pride last year because my boyfriend at the time had a backstage pass and I didn't because capitalism. On tonight's show, 3 special guests covering some of the aspects of the spectrum of the glorious, wonderful people that are this. Plus, Aisha returns for a new episode of Don't Whack It Too, Try It. And we have a brief history of Pride from the one and only friend Jamie. Very exciting. And of course, in the studio, my co-host, Donna. We are live today all over the internet. We're on every social media at once. What could possibly go wrong? Answer, we can dance.
When you're down, there's just one way to go. Let us ascend tonight. Everyone could be so happy and the sun will shine all night. We could have a good time, let everybody sing. Why don't you let yourself slip out of control? We could have a good time, let everybody sing. Get your feet up on the floor.
What an opening to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello. How are you? Good. I'm also good. How are things? How are we doing? Did we like the introduction? I hope we did. Also, how clear am I? How is everything? Because I'm aware that today we're trying out some new technology by being live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. We're looking to break the internet today. And I just hope you can hear me and everything's fine. I think we've discovered there is a slight delay. So there's like a 1 minute, maybe 2 minute delay between me saying things and you hearing them. So who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Wonderful. Who is here? Let's take a look in the comments, in the doobies. Cody with a T is here. So exciting. Happy Pride, everyone. Cody with a T coming up later. Sam Coleman is here. Hello, Sam. Spider Dude. Oh, what happens if I... Wow. Wow. I can click on buttons and show what I'm seeing. That's cool. Becca W is here. Luke Steele is here. He says Happy Pride. Aisha Khan is here. We've already said Becca says hello. Sapphire's Touchfree says hello and Happy Pride. And Spider Dude Blog says super clear. Awesome. How do there we go. Who is here? Let me tell you who is here in the studio. Of course, it is the one, the only Donna Stavely. Donna,
Woohoo!
Hello, how are you?
It's me, hurrah. I'm good, thank you very much. I'm very good.
You're very good. Very good. How has your week been?
It's been very stressful, like super stressful. If you'd spoken to me on Friday and said, how's your week going? I probably would have cried.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Why? What's the headline?
Well, you know that I own a house in Hertfordshire and my tenants have been moving out and I have new tenants to come in. And this should all be quite a normal thing, but this is the first time I've ever done this because I've only very recently let my house out. And it's just been a disaster.
No.
Everything that could have kind of gone wrong has gone wrong, with the exception of the new tenants going, they're not coming in. They are still coming in. The people that have left my house have left it in an absolute state.
Oh my God, you were worried about that last week when we were talking about it.
I was, yeah. And it's like they'd cleared the garden, so like the outside bit, but like when I went in, it like stank of dog. Which, okay, they had dogs, so you kind of expect it to a certain degree. But the condition in the lease of me agreeing to them having dogs in the property was that they would clean the house properly and have like the carpets all cleaned, because all the carpets had been. Well, the house was completely redecorated before they moved in, so it was an immaculate property. And one of the walls in the lounge, which is the thing that literally my jaw was on the floor because I walked in and went, oh my God. The lady that had been in there, she'd obviously had things stuck on the wall, presumably with those like Velcro things. And where she's pulled them off, she's pulled the paint and bits of the plaster off. So she's painted over it with a different colour paint.
Okay, tell me there's a resolution for this.
Well, yeah, the resolution. There were various other things, but that was kind of the worst thing. So the estate agents, other than kind of, they've clearly got somebody dealing with the outgoing tenant and somebody dealing with the incoming tenants who just weren't speaking to each other. So they're supposed to be managing it all, and things just kept coming to me to go, well, why hasn't this been sorted out? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not managing the process. You are. That's what I'm paying you for. So I had to arrange to get the property cleaned ASAP. Because they were like, yeah, but there's somebody's doing the check-in inventory this afternoon. I'm like, no, they're not, because I'm not going to pay for that. It's been awful.
Look.
And they also then at one point said, yeah, but it's a very tight turnaround time. I'm like, yes, I know. You are the ones that organised it. I've had the property for 8 days. So from last Monday to tomorrow is the only point that I basically have access to the property. It's been awful. But it is all getting sorted, and we've managed to arrange for somebody to go in and do the repair work tomorrow. But I'm now going to have to go back again tomorrow afternoon to check it, because I just don't trust them now. So, yeah, there's been unnecessary journeys, so many phone calls, so much stress.
Well, it's over now, right?
I know, but it's fine. And it is, and yeah, it has been quite, well, having regaling a friend with the saga this afternoon, at least I can laugh about it. Friday, I was not laughing.
I can imagine. That sounds so stressful. Becca W says estate agents are the worst.
They are.
And
they are, Becca. They absolutely are.
And Sapphire says, OMG, I'm now very worried. I've used those Velcro things to stick things up in my room currently. In all honesty, I think if you peel them off carefully, because I've used them myself. Do you mean like, what are they called?
Is it like command strips? But yeah, I'm assuming that's what it is, other than the fact that she literally had glued something to the wall. I mean, I really don't know. I didn't see what it was. Also, it was like the tiny OCD part of me was having an absolute freak out, because there's like 12 of these marks and splodges, but they're not in any sort of order, or they're not in line, and I'm just like, oh my God, what did it look like?
Like, if you're going to wreck the walls, at least do it in a nice order.
At least do it neatly. Wreck them neatly. I know that doesn't make sense, but it does in the weird part of my brain. But yeah.
Well, we're here for you, Donna.
Thanks.
We believe in you.
Thanks.
Amazing. Welcome everyone to the show. I have got no idea how many people are watching, because there is no number on this new thing. So we could be talking to the void.
We could be talking to the void.
It could just be us. Who knows?
Hello.
Amazing. Well, I hope you're well. I hope you had a good Pride Day yesterday. That's the thing. I hope you enjoyed it. I was on social media a lot, and people were celebrating in their own ways. Quite enjoyable. Becca says apparently 18 are watching on YouTube. There we go. Sam Coleman says wreck them neatly. Words to live by. Yeah, it's fine. Amazing. Right. First up, before our first guest graces us with their presence, we are going to play. No, we're not playing. What am I talking about? We're going to watch the first part of this week's Don't Whack It Till You Try It with Aisha. Now, this week we decided to do something Pride themed. Of course, it's Pride Week. It's the LGBT week. So we decided to do rainbow roses. Whoa, sorry everyone, deafened everyone. Your mic's just died.
Oh, excellent.
Oh God, that scared the life out of me. Did that scare the life out of everyone else? I'm so sorry. Whew. Sorry everyone, that was Donna's mic suddenly dying and scaring the crap out of me. Right, did that scare the life out of you?
You're really lucky I didn't swear.
Wow, there we go.
Fortunately, I'm on
Well, we wouldn't have been able to hear it. So. I tell you what, we're gonna fitch stuff and cut straight to this thing, and we'll talk about it afterwards. Here is Don't Whack It Till You Tried It with a brand new theme.
They look better than I thought.
Hello, and welcome to a new episode of
Don't whack it till you've tried.
Smash That. Pride Week.
Was I supposed to say that?
I mean, what are your thoughts on Pride?
Woo!
What are we going to be making on today's episode?
Well, stickless cake pops that are rainbows inside. Can I say that again?
No, I don't see any round moulds or anything.
I'll wait and see.
Well, remember what we say here on the channel. Right, let's get going. What do we do first?
Make some cupcakes. So 4 ounces of butter and 4 ounces of sugar.
It's in my contract that you would pre-measure the ingredients.
You didn't tell me
I'll
that.
put this in here.
Yes. Now 4 ounces of butter.
Oh, that's going to be... Okay, there's this.
Hey!
Hey! LGBT plus. Question number 1.
What? I have to answer questions?
Who was better, Jamie or Sarah? Don't answer that.
I'm not going to answer that.
I like this frame. Where did you get this from?
Etsy.
Etsy, nice. So hold on. So are we? So. But I don't get it because we need to. If it's going to be coloured inside, then we got to. The mixture's got to be different colours.
Yeah.
So all we're doing is making multicoloured cakes, cutting them up, and sticking them back together.
Well, if you want to put it like that.
Do a layer, freeze it, add to the next layer, freeze it, add the next layer, freeze it.
No.
Then you put it in the oven, and it all cooks. That's how you do it.
No, it's not.
That's how you do it.
Based on what?
The bake-off. Nothing to see here.
Okay, should we add the egg?
2 eggs. Da, 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 da. Right, how much flour are we doing?
4 ounces.
There's a lot of flour in the sky, so make it count. You don't want to pour the flour again. Smash that. Alright, just dump it in.
No, have you ever made a cake?
Look, why would you make a cake when you can buy them for like £1?
Lift it up so you get the air in. No, up. Yeah. But you want them to... Yeah.
To and fro, stop and go.
I thought you weren't allowed to sing because it's
I'll do what I like.
So 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Talk amongst yourselves. You've got to keep an eye on the camera. This is all...
I forget it's there.
This is all for camera. Ultimately, otherwise I would not be here. So Aisha and I have started watching a new show on Netflix that I feel like we started watching ironically. Why am I taking so long to get the stuff off this switch? I feel like we started watching ironically, but now we just love, and it's called The Floor is Lava. And if you're in the UK, you'd know about it because it's number 2 in the UK. Is this going to explode in my face?
No, I shouldn't do it.
What do I do now?
Now we need to put an even amount in each one.
Oh, I'm so bored already.
Well, this bit's the boring bit. We can like skip through.
I don't think we're actually doing the entire flag because this flag is wrong.
So obviously, if we were on The Floor is Lava, we'd be on a team. But who would be our third member of the team?
Gran.
No, I knew you were going to say that.
She's so
She's
good.
an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah, she's fitter than either of us and more flexible.
Can you see her doing monkey bars? To be fair, though, we were discussing how you shouldn't do.
Could do monkey bars. I reckon she could, you know. Well, I picked Gran over Mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie?
Yeah, I think Jamie would be good.
I reckon
at
Jamie
it.
would be pretty decent.
Yeah.
I reckon you'd both leave me behind though. I reckon you'd conspire.
You would like attempt to like do the monkey bars and fall off.
I so would. I have no upper body strength at all. I've completely forgotten.
What?
No, you carry on.
Oh.
Here she is.
Yes, she is.
So Donna decided that this was not the same without little Candy, so she's got us a replica for me to sit and stroke while you do things.
No, we have to call her like Candy the second. Food colouring.
I want to do this bit. This bit sounds fun.
This is the funnest.
So what, like a tablespoon in each?
No.
Right, let's start with red.
Okay, this is a problem because you're colourblind, so can I verify before you put
It says red on it.
too much though?
It's not too much. Oh, God.
Poor soul. It was like 31 degrees this week, and you came back home and were like, look how brown I am, and I was like, you're red.
Yeah, I cannot see sunburn in the same way I can't see if people are embarrassed or if I just can't see that red tinge on the skin ever. These colours mean things. What is your favourite colour out of interest?
I don't have a favourite colour because I like so many different colours.
That's such a cop-out answer. This is very blue.
I'm worried about that.
Like, if you were to tell me all purple is either pink or blue, I'd believe you.
So do these look different?
They're different, but I'd say it's more pink. Don't even get me started on turquoise. Like, turquoise is the devil's work. Look at that. What colour is this supposed to be? For goodness sake! That's better. Can everyone see me?
Wait, what's
Can
that
everybody
Is that
hear
purple?
me? No, it's red.
one? That is
What do you mean that is red?
not red.
What are you talking about?
It's like brown.
That's red!
It's not red.
It's red.
This is what I have to deal with.
Oh, the yellow looks good.
Yeah.
Look at that. Can we mix something to make green, or is green a primary colour?
Yeah, I was looking at this earlier and I've forgotten everything we learned about that in like primary school.
Why are colours so difficult?
What do you think? More green or is that okay?
No, that's fine. That is not blue.
It is.
It's not blue, like,
It's blue
to me,
tinged.
that is not blue at all. Like, I'd call that brown.
That's purple.
No, that's red.
You can't even see what colour it is.
Exactly. Oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, this is a winner. What is this supposed to be?
Blue.
It's just not blue.
It is blue.
It's not at all blue.
I can't believe we decided to do a
Literally
colour
not even a
themed
bit blue.
thing.
So we're doing a cupcake of each colour.
So each colour should be 2 cupcakes.
Don't whack it
Excuse me.
till you've tried it. Don't whack it till you've tried it. That looks really cool. I should definitely have a yellow cake for my birthday this year. Even if we don't do cake pops, I think just having multicoloured cupcakes is like a win if you're really lazy. Look at them! Right, let's put them in the oven. And what did we preheat it to?
180 degrees.
180. Set a timer. All is well. We'll be back in 12 minutes. Welcome back. Don't know why you're laughing.
Because you've just gone, I really need to fix the camera. Oh no, we're back!
I'm slightly darker than I should be, and I just had 10 minutes to fix it, and instead we've just sat doing nothing. Welcome back, everyone. During that break, I went round and just checked everything to make sure everything was working, and it is. Let's go through some of the comments. We have got Sapphire Suchbury. Cakes are way better than shop cakes. That's why you bake. Just you wait to the end of this episode. Sapphire says, also I become addicted to baking. Interesting. How'd you get the flour? Donna says, we're alive. Rumours of our demise have been greatly exaggerated. Spider Blogs, I need to watch The Floor is Lava. Yeah, me and Aisha have now finished the series. We finished it in the gaps between filming it yesterday.
I don't know what that is.
So it's a new game show on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Where they play the game The Floor is Lava, where they have to not touch the floor, but the floor is actually lava.
Love it.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. George Jennings, will cooking is a sin to the community. I appreciate that, George. And Jamie, Aisha is a legend, pass it on. I shall not. George Jennings, don't put him in charge of colour. You sound like my producer when I'm colour grading. Spider Vlogs, like the Harry Potter reference. Thank you. I left that in the hope that someone would see it. Savan Films. Shade. Shade, indeed. Wonderful, wonderful. All of the many, many things. Right, we have a guest coming up very soon. I expect them to be joining the new link. Oh, it's not working for them. Hold on. Donna.
Yep.
Talk to us.
Okay. I love the fact that you actually remembered to get the little dog I bought you out. It just didn't look right, the first one you and Aisha did. Didn't look right without a little candy dog sat there, so I thought I'd better send you one.
I mean,
she's very cute. She's very cute. She's tiny, though. She's actually much smaller than I thought she was going to be. So I'm saying she, but that's only because Candy's a she. So.
Yeah, we have to name it. So
you do. Yes, she.
What do we think? What do we think is the name?
Oh, I don't know. I think we might need to open this out to the audience.
Comments to the people at
the
large.
comments. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Likes my T-shirt. Yeah, I like my T-shirt too. Thanks, Kyle. Donna is wonderful in every way. Please note this, Will. Just letting you know.
Just let me know.
Just letting you know, because it's important that you know that. Yeah.
It is.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, but no, I think the dog does need a name.
Does. Any ideas? Have we got anyone?
Yeah. Anyone?
Blue is Donna's colour.
I think we might just need to call it Shade.
Shade. The Shade Dog.
The Shade Dog.
Kate's Harrington.
Oh, Kate. Oh, my lovely friend Kate.
Lovely friend Kate. Poppet.
Oh, I quite like Poppet.
Yeah, Poppet.
Yeah.
Oh, Cody says, Will, I want to meet Donna one day.
Seems fine to me. I think we should have a WillCarne show party.
WillCarne show party when lockdown's over. Imaginary Nadia says, can the doggo be called Yum Yum? Kate again, call the dog Poppet.
See, there you go. See,
Nadia, no reason, just because cute. Please show off the games in the background, says Kyle. Please, or play them, says Kyle. We might play them at the end of the show if we have time.
Yeah. Might try and squeeze one in. Maybe.
Dum dum dum. We're doing new technology today, and it is not working. So that's why we're waiting. And if it really doesn't work, I've got an ultimate backup. Oh, hold on. Donna, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Spider Do Vlog says call it Tilly, which is actually a really great name, but it's such a great name. That's what my friend's dog is called. So I'm leaning more to I like Poppet and I like Yum Yum. So I like both of those.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have to have like a vote or something.
Yeah, we can do something. We can make it work. We can make it work.
We can make it happen.
We can make it happen. Yeah.
Okay, what we got? Kyle and Graham will be joining for the musical theatre next week as they are very professional. Musical theatre week's the week after, George. People saying things. Call the dog Genevieve, says friend Jamie. George says, have a gorgeous dog here called Henry. Shout out, please.
Shout out to Henry the dog.
And last but not least, Sam Coleman says, yum pop. Okay. I am going to cut to something else and come back because I've got to fix a little technical hiccup. So here is, speaking of friend Jamie, here is friend Jamie giving us a brief history of Pride. Are you excited for this?
Cool. I am actually, yeah, I am.
Okay, amazing. Jamie, take it away.
Welcome to Pride 101. I'm your teacher friend Jamie, and today we're going to be doing a swift yet educational run through on the history of Pride. So I'm sure you've heard of Stonewall before, and namely the Stonewall riots, but before that came the homophile societies. These organisations formed in the 1950s and 1960s and demanded respect and equal rights for a person regardless of their gender and sexual identity. The most well known of these was the Mattachine Foundation, which was later renamed the Mattachine Society, which was formed in 1951. Other societies to name are the Daughters of Bilitis, which were a lesbian organisation, and One Inc. that produced the first widely distributed gay publication in 1953. These homophile societies were used to create a group identity. This in turn allowed queer people to rally together and create bigger change in the future. As police raids on LGBTQ+ spaces became more frequent, the community grew more tiresome and angry. This inevitably led to the Stonewall Uprising, also known as the Stonewall Riots. On June 28, 1969, in the early hours of the morning, the police raided the Stonewall Inn. Angry at having their safe space invaded, the patrons of the Stonewall Inn decided it was time to fight back. This started with Marsha P. Johnson, who allegedly threw a shot glass at a mirror while shouting, "I got my civil rights." During the riot itself, the police ended up barricading themselves inside the Stonewall Inn. These riots took place for 6 days. The following year, on June 28th, queer people took to the streets to celebrate Christopher Street Liberation Day, which we now know was the first Pride Parade. Now, these days were initially called Gay Freedom Days or Gay Liberation Days, but the less radical activists of the 1980s decided to remove those words and instead use Gay Pride. It is important to learn your queer history and also to teach those around you. By honouring their lives, we not only continue to spread their message, but it also allows us to build upon their work every year. Pride started as a protest for our rights, and we continue to fight because we have to. I hope you have a wonderful Pride weekend, whether you're with friends, family, or joining digitally. Happy Pride!
Oh, thank you, Jamie. Very informative. All of the many informative things. Good. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience. What have people got to say in the comments? I tell you what, Donna is going to read them out. Donna. Donna is not ready. I've sprung that on her.
Donna was reading ahead in the script there and was not at all ready for that. Thank you. That actually, genuinely, Jamie, I thought that was wonderful. Thank you. That was really, really informative and very, very succinctly summarised. Very, very good. Sapphire Suchbury's comment is, can we just take a second to appreciate educating whilst wearing that stunning eyeliner? So, yes, looking good. And yeah, actually, Jamie, whole look, fierce. Thank you, lady. Fabulous. Oh, does Jamie have a channel as well to follow? I should probably know this, shouldn't I?
His friend Jamie on the Dewberry.
I shall follow. Cool.
Following our footsteps.
Follow. Cool.
Sweet. I'm ready now.
Cool.
I'm ready. I'm going to cut to me. Please welcome our first guest. Say something to us.
Hello, everybody.
Wonderful. Here is Tortor Smith. Tortor. Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Doing good? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah. Can you hear me?
I can. We're all good.
Awesome.
Everything's fine. Look, we try new technology. Sometimes it doesn't work. What do you want from us? Amazing. Right, now I'm very flustered and I don't know where I am in the scripts. But Tortor, tell me how your lockdown has been. What have you been up to? What's life like?
My lockdown's been quite good. I'm generally creative, so having lots of time to do projects is really up my alley. started growing my own vegetables, and some of them are almost ready to pick, so that's quite exciting.
That's the dream.
That's
Donna's
That's the
very
dream.
excited
I am.
about that.
It's like the good life.
The
Like
good
the
life. Oh, there we go. I'm
Yes,
loving the pride
exactly. That's
flag.
what I'm inspired by.
Tortor's inspired by the good life.
Fabulous.
Amazing.
I approve.
I also like the pride flags.
Oh, cheers, yeah. I just knocked it up.
Just knocked it up. You made us look a fool. We were saying in the video break just now that we both forgot our pride flags.
Yeah, sorry.
And we're like here in this big fancy thing. Right, we are here to talk about various pride things and kind of where you stand on pride and what you how you feel, all of the feelings. So we'll start by, I guess, saying how do you identify in terms of the LGBTQ plus community? And yeah, let's start there.
Yes, so I identify as several things.
Love that.
Gay, because I prefer the word gay to lesbian, so I always say that I'm gay. And then also non-binary, so I kind of see my gender as being more neutral. And I came out as gay first, and then about 3 years after that, I realised I was non-binary as well. So
for those of people watching who don't know necessarily what non-binary is or what non-binary means, how would you explain it to someone like work or something who didn't know?
So it's sort of not feeling like you fit into the umbrellas that are male and female. Like within me, I almost feel like my brain's male, but I'm obviously in a female body. So I have a sort of blend of lots of different qualities. And it makes me feel uncomfortable identifying with just female. So I prefer to have like a broader umbrella to identify under.
And have you found that you've been accepted in that sense?
No.
No. Okay, tell me more.
Like pretty much everybody doesn't understand it. I have had problems in employment as well. So I've tried to like make change because it was something that wasn't really recognized. And I did make change. It happened after I left, but I essentially got bullied out of that job. So yeah, it sucks a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
it does.
You know, as long as you know who you are inside yourself, I think that's all that really matters. Because I know who I am, so it doesn't really bother me what other people think.
What for you made the change between deciding that label, you really identified with that label and you thought it'd be helpful to become that and sort of identify as that openly, I guess?
Yeah.
Because it's particularly because I think non-binary is a label that isn't new, but it's, I think, new to the what's the word I'm looking for?
It's the general
zeitgeist.
masses. Zeitgeist. It's still very widely misunderstood, and I will confess myself that it's like I've really had to try and educate myself a bit in the last last year to try and really get my head round what that means. I mean, I have absolutely no issue with how anybody chooses to identify, and everybody should be able to make that choice for themselves, but it's so ingrained across everything that we do that it's male and female, and people have such an issue moving away from that, and it's like education is such an important part of that.
So what are your thoughts?
So, well, growing up, I always thought I was going to grow into being a boy, and it didn't happen. And so that confused me as a child. And to my mum's dismay, like at every point during growing up, I wanted the male version of everything. So at school, we had 2 uniforms. The blazers had differences and stuff. And I made her take me into a uniform shop and get the male ones, but it wasn't, I don't think that I wanted to be a boy. That's what I preferred. And it didn't seem that other people accepted that was okay for a girl to be doing. So there was all this sort of confusion within my head. And then in 2015, I met someone who identified as non-binary, and I hadn't heard of that term before myself. And they explained their story and what it meant to them. And then it was from hearing that I thought, well, that's kind of how I feel, you know, and that makes me feel more comfortable in myself. So perhaps that's what I am and a way of describing me. So I feel like often with non-binary, you meet someone that identifies that way, and then it sort of makes something click in your head and you realize, oh, that's me. So that's how I kind of figured it out.
Where in your mind does, when you've thought about this, non-binary fit versus, say, feeling that you're transgender, in that Like, how does that differ
Like,
to you?
it's tricky. Like, some people would describe me as transgender for not aligning with my birth gender, but I don't necessarily see that. Like, I just feel like a person, and I just kind of want to identify as a person, but people just tend to want to put you in these boxes. I've tried to, with the NHS, have like gender therapy to talk it through with someone that actually understands. But like, I've spent about 8 years on waiting lists and I still haven't had any sort of appointment. So I just kind of have had to learn to feel comfortable in myself. And I kind of feel like my body isn't like a full representation of me, because like we really exist in our heads, and it's like our soul essentially that makes us us. So I kind of cope with it that way. And I just present myself in a way that I feel comfortable. So, you know, I don't know if that answers the question.
It kind of does. I think it does. And where do you stand on pronouns? Because I think pronouns is a topic that is attached especially a lot to non-binary, because a lot of non-binary people use the pronouns they, them, which I was going to be like, take the high horse and be like, I don't know why people have problems saying they, them, but it is an adjustment to make. And it is something that, because I think you're brought up saying he or she, saying they for someone singular is an adjustment that people have to make. What is your stance on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment for me as well. Like, when I refer to other people, I often would slip up because it is a bit foreign to how we're used to speaking. And people just tend to use whichever pronoun they look at me and think that I am. So some people just think I'm male. Other people will see me as female. Occasionally people will use neutral terms. I've sort of become a bit numb to it now. But when I started a YouTube channel, I didn't specify how I identified, and the majority of people thought that I was a young boy. So it's just interesting how people perceive gender, and how people, you know, just have an opinion and an assumption of who you are without really knowing anything about you.
And so would you say, in summary, this might be like a dumb question, but it is that the stereotypes that are assigned to the two genders of male and female, you identify to different parts of them, and therefore you almost, okay, this is a better question. Do you not believe in gender as a thing?
Yeah, I would say, I think everybody should be seen as a person, because gender sort of puts limitations on you and expectations on you. And perhaps the things that we think, like we're brought up thinking a certain gender should behave in a certain way or like a certain thing, it isn't right for everybody. And it's not necessarily a gender thing. It's just the fact that we're all different. We all have different tastes. We all like different things. But it's loosening up now, but there was a time where it was very restrictive, and it could make you feel really uncomfortable within yourself. And I think, like, growing up, I did have that battle, and I would say it's easier to just be me now, because people tend not to bat so much of an eyelid about how you present and how you look. But yeah, we're just all people. We should just be able to express ourselves however we wish. So
I just want to say quickly, if you have any questions for Tortor or anything, by all means, whack them in the comments, and I'll come to them in a little bit. Ditto, Donna. Oh, Donna has a question.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Can you hear Donna, by the way?
I can hear her, yeah.
Okay, cool. And it is, as Will said, it is like an adjustment to try, and that people need to try and remember when using different pronouns than we are generally used to. How do you feel is a good way to explain to somebody to try to do that? Because I don't know, I always try and sit and think, how would I explain this to my mum? And at the moment, I don't really know how I would start to explain that. Sorry, that's a bit of a broad question. Sorry.
Yeah, it's quite challenging. I've gone through a process trying to explain to my own parents about it, and they kind of understand it now, but they still don't use the pronouns I'd prefer. They just use she, her all the time, which I don't mind, you know, because it's just, like I say, I'm almost numb to it. I'm a bit indifferent now, but the preference, like, is they, them for me. And the way that I've sort of tried to get used to using those pronouns is I'll have days where I will just use it to refer to whoever I'm talking about, irrelevant of their gender. And it actually, when you get used to it, is quite easy to use those pronouns to describe.
That's interesting. That's clever, actually.
for example, like if somebody left an umbrella at your place of work, you would say they left their umbrella, and you wouldn't gender them because you wouldn't necessarily know their gender. And there's lots of situations where that does occur and you wouldn't know their gender. But if you've assumed a gender, you tend to want to go with a she or a he. I don't know why. It must be a human thing. We just like to categorise like that.
I think it's a default reaction because that's what generally certainly, you know, I'm a good few years older than all of you lot, but generally that's all that's ever been kind of assigned and explained as things, you know, as you go kind of through education and early stages of work life. It's only been he or she. So it is an adjustment, and I think the thing that annoys me, and undoubtedly I get it wrong sometimes, but I try not to. And I think the thing that upsets me on behalf of people who identify as non-binary is, why can't people just at least try?
Yeah.
Why is it such a thing that they have to go, no, it doesn't exist, or no, I'm not going to do that? Well, why? Sorry. Off your soapbox, Donna. Sorry.
In terms of, so we talked a lot about gender. In terms of sexuality, as you mentioned at the start, you prefer the name gay to lesbian. What is your relationship then with sexuality, and how does that slot in to your gender?
So I think it's similar in that gay feels like a more neutral word. Like you can use that to describe two women or two men, whereas lesbian is very female associated. So I sort of jar with it a little bit. But it is quite a kind of difficult thing to date, because even people within the LGBT community don't understand non-binary, and I don't know what their assumptions are, but often when I bring it up, that's the end of like a potential relationship. People seem to get freaked out and think, I don't know what they think, but they obviously think I'm a girl and I'm dating a girl, but they're saying they're not a girl, so what does that make me? And then they get all confused, and really I'm not a different person. I don't understand why people think that a pronoun changes like you physically or something, because to me it's just a descriptor of me. It's like having a name. It's not something that physically changes me or makes me peculiar in some way, I don't think. But,
no, it doesn't. Quite categorically it doesn't.
Yeah, Donna says categorically doesn't. I agree with Donna. Donna is wise. We have got a comment in from Kate that says, do you think that gender would actually be an issue if we didn't have the legacy attached to the westernized patriarchy? We're going deep here. I.e. if gender didn't have the preconceived attachments that we have grown up with.
Yeah, I think it would be less of a problem. I think if I had not been constantly kind of bullied out of the way I wanted to express myself, then because it was accepted, whatever, then I would have probably not had an issue. I don't know. It's a difficult one, because you've got to kind of think outside of like everything you know to understand how you'd feel in that situation. But yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that everybody around me would not accept the way I wanted to express myself.
It's just, it's so part of it. I always think of European languages where language is literally divided into male and female. Like it's at such a fundamental level. I was on the bus the other day going through London, and I went past two boys' schools, and I just thought, how in 2020 are there still schools that are exclusively for genders? I don't understand. And I say that to some of my cousins, and indeed where I'm from, there are all girls and all boys school. It's such a integral part.
It is so kind of deeply ingrained with kind of historic stuff. Actually, I have another question, if that's okay.
Yeah, we've got time for just about one more.
Thank you. Sorry.
Go for it.
Taking over as ever. I genuinely wanted to know, because it's like, I mean, obviously, how old are you now?
I'm 30.
Are you? Good grief, you have incredible skin. Sorry. Good Lord, sorry, I'm completely sidetracked. Thought you were much younger than that.
Yeah, most people do.
Yeah. well done you.
Skin. At the end, we'll get Tortor's moisturising.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm just definitely getting in touch. I've completely distracted myself now. I'm so sorry. Just wanted to sort of say, or to ask really, did, like, when you were kind of first kind of like having these thoughts and trying to come to get your head around how you felt, did you ever get people telling you it was, oh, it's just because you're young and you don't know what you want? I just wondered if that was a thing.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And also a lot of people were saying that I was transgender and that I was just in a transitionary phase. And this was like me saying I was in the wrong body kind of thing. But I don't think it goes that deep with me. It's not that I'm in the wrong body. I mean, I would have preferred to have been born male, but I don't feel distressed enough that I'd want to change myself in that way.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, yeah, just people, again, just assuming that...
So do you separate in terms of, so one of the characteristics arguably needed to identify as trans, or to, I mean, there's a bit of a minefield, but have you ever had body dysmorphia? Have you ever felt like you're in the wrong body, or is it more assigned to the stereotypes associated with the genders rather than your body?
Yeah, so I have had some body dysmorphia. Before puberty, I was a lot happier, and then obviously your body changes and things start developing, and that was a bit like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this. I don't like it. And even in my 20s, like speaking to other people, I wore binders for quite a while just because having a more flat chest was aesthetically how I felt like I should look. But just the thought of like taking it to the level of having surgery and stuff, I don't think personally I could do it. I worry that there would be a day where I was like, I wish I hadn't done that kind of thing. But I do have binders and I will wear them on days where I'm feeling uncomfortable. But equally, I can feel comfortable just as myself now, which is good. So
that's wonderful.
Changes from day to day.
That's immense. Well done you.
Tortor, my last question is, what do you do as a job?
What do I do as a job? So I'm like an animator, basically, mainly doing stop motion animation. But I have done other things like video editing and stuff like that. And at the moment, I'm just kind of doing anything.
I mean, aren't we all? Look at me.
Yeah.
This is my job now. Sat opposite Donna,
Yeah.
marveling over stop motion animators.
I love stop motion stuff.
It's so cool. I
love it.
In the next break, I'm going to get up Tortor's stop motion stuff and we can watch it. It's so cool. Tortor, I bring this up because I think you're amazing. You're awesome. It's about, yeah, you're awesome. That's it. That's the last thing I have to say. Tortor, thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming on, despite technical difficulties.
Yeah,
what are you going to be doing with the rest of your evening? There is only one correct answer.
The rest of my evening, I'm going to obviously be watching your show.
That's it. That's the answer. That's the answer.
Then,
that's it. And then watching it again.
Watching it again, of course.
Amazing.
Quite long.
Well, it's going to be quite long. That means as we say that, we're going to go on to part 2 of...
Don't whack it till you've tried it.
Tortor has smashed that. Over to part 2 of Don't Whack It Till You Tried It. Bye, Tortor.
Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey!
Do you want to get it out?
Do I?
Oh no!
What do you think?
I'm just very sad about these ones.
Are
you still saying that that's red?
What colour do you think it is?
What colour do you think it is?
Why, you think it's brown?
Like murky, purpley brown.
Purpley?
Yeah.
Where's the blue?
Oh yeah, where's the blue?
Where's the blue?
Well, that one is either blue or green.
Well, no, they're the green ones, aren't they?
No, that's orange! This is such a fail.
Are they the green ones? No, the yellow ones, aren't they? No, they must be the blue ones. They can't be the blue ones. I mean, it's the blue ones. None of them are just...
So we need to make the stuff that's going to bind them together.
Yeah, alright. Can I turn the fire on?
No, not yet. Okay, alright, turn it on really low.
Woo!
100 grams of Milky Bar button.
But I don't have a very big attention span, alright?
Yeah. to break all the cakes up into their separate colours. So
Whoa. So we're destroying the cakes?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like breadcrumbs? I'm so unsure about this entire...
Me too at this point.
This is vegan chicken nuggets all the way.
I was going to say we peaked too soon with the star bread. That was insane.
They smell good.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like searching the cakes for like a knife or something. Oh yeah, that's the yellow and that's the green.
If you say so.
I'm so sure that that's the yellow and that's the green.
Maybe your eyes can see colours that we can't see.
How can you not see that?
Because they're both like yellow.
Can you see that?
They are different shades of yellow, I grant you that. Have a spoon. So I'm going to put a spoon of these in each of those and you need to mix it to combine them.
What? We've just teared it apart. Why are we now putting it back together? Do you know how crazy you sound?
It will come together.
It won't come together. Don't you mean like YouTubers can't be trusted? I've been saying it for years. Now, we usually casually talk about vegan alternatives, but I think, you know what?
I think we're past it with this recipe.
Well, this is actually turning back into a paste. Look.
Okay, that's good.
Is it?
Yes! When we reveal the next step, it's going to blow your mind.
I mean, because there's a warm light on the camera, it actually will look different to how we see it. And what's next?
Okay, this is the fun part. It actually is. So, we get some cling film. Lay out your cling film, excuse me. And then you want a little disc of each colour. So let's say like a teaspoon. Squish it into a flat circle. You put it on the cling film and then you do the same with all the colours. These remind me also of like those Indian sweets that we get sometimes at... Are you ready?
Oh, I've got a horrible feeling I know what you're about to do.
So then you put it into a ball.
Hold on. Right, yeah, it's a ball.
Is it a ball?
No. Is it a cake?
Salad.
That looks better than I thought. I'll give you that.
Okay. I thought you were just going to walk out.
Are you going to keep going?
Yeah, but you need to do some as well. I mean, I wouldn't recommend these if you're looking for like a quick, like, pride party recipe.
Love you trying to convince yourself that we haven't just wasted another afternoon. I thought you were going to like twist it up and like spin it like that or something. I thought that was the trick. I thought a party piece was coming, and I was excited, and it just never came. I'm going to be honest. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of pride. Rights. Do we need rights? Do we really? This is rights.
I think you can tell which ones I did, like this one, and which one was William did.
There's the red and green one where I just gave up with everything. That one is really good. And I think I'm just going to cut to us eating them on the show.
No, we have another step.
What?
They don't stay like that, we ice them.
Oh, for goodness sake. Wonderful, 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 all of that. Why have I not appeared? There I am. Wonderful, wonderful, all of the things. I'm just waiting for our next guest to join us, coming very, very soon. We don't know where she's going to come from.
Is it under the table?
We literally join now, please. Awesome. That was lovely. Everyone's just appreciation of Tortor, just
so
being
good.
wonderful.
Just and just so incredibly honest and open, and such an incredible thing to do. So just love that. Well done.
Love that for them.
Also, how are they 30?
Look, it's the moisturiser.
I'm like, really?
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I'm the opposite. When I tell people my age, they're like shook that I am that young. And I'm like, thank you. And they try and play it off. They're like, oh, it's because you look so mature. You look so mature. Like I was having my blood taken for this thing a little while ago, and the nurse was like, I can't believe you're my age. Offended. Right, Donna, stall for me. I'm going to do some technical mishaps.
Okay, technical mishap stuff. I was just wondering if anybody in the comments actually watched the stream right to the very, 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 very end of the credit sequence last week, because a certain Mr. Carne attacked me with yet another confetti cannon.
Oh my God, this is such a funny thing to... So
You
funny.
were
It was
so
right. No one
evil.
saw it. No one saw it. It was right at the very end. If you go back on
Go
playback...
back and watch last week's and just scroll all the way through to the very, very,
there's
very
an
end
actual
of the credits.
timestamp in the description. You can click on it. It'll take you straight there. So literally the last 10 seconds, I exploded a confetti cannon.
While I wasn't looking at him or the camera or anything, because I thought the show was over.
Yeah, both Luke and Donna thought that the show was finished.
We were like, oh, da 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 da, boom. Yeah, and if you watch it very, very carefully, you can see me swear.
Yes. In fact, for some reason, the audio didn't work.
Oh, God. Yes. Yes.
Amazing.
I've checked. There are none this week.
There are none. I mean, don't mention it.
No.
Because I probably have it somewhere on the hard drive. Okay, amazing. I'm just sitting here chatting. We have got our next guest. How exciting, here on the LGBT plus everything week. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. They're just joining. I can see a blank screen. I'm waiting for them to start their video. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. You'll be able to hear them as soon as I can hear them. And it'll be exciting and fun. Good, good, good. Video, all of the things. Oh, let me click the buttons. All of the things. Oh, there we go. And let me click another button. More. Click the audio thing. See the audio thing? See the audio thing. All is not well. Oh, I'm being bedinged. I can't hear you. Oh, here we go. I might be muted. All is not well. Donna, stall for us.
Oh, okay.
Once more.
I've just noticed Kate has gone, damn that man and his confetti cannons. Did you need a wee? Yes, I did actually. I did actually almost go rushing off to the loo after that, because it was just a bit much for me. You know, getting on a bit, you know, the bladder's a bit weak now. Oh, what can I say? Yeah. And again, 2 confetti cannons. Did he have a vacuum cleaner? Did he heck? Still had to pick it all up by hand. Why? Why? I mean, you could say I was a bit of an idiot to actually go, yeah, all right, I will pick it all up. And I did, but yeah, okay, so clearly I'm an idiot. Oh, there's bing bong noises going in my ear now. It's fascinating. But, Spider Dude Vlog said, yeah, it was hilarious. Cody with a T, no, we should not have another cannon. Thank you very much. So, yes. Becca said, yeah, she saw that bit. She thought it was a replay. No, it was actually a second one. Yeah, so. But no, I've checked. There are none today. Yes. And I'm actually going to, I think, maybe in future, I'm just going to bring in a little handheld vacuum cleaner, just in case. I also keep finding bits of confetti all the way kind of like under the desk.
Hello. I can hear now.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stream the one, the only, Emmy, hello, can you see? There we go, you can see me. Emmy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Are you a bit stressed?
I am. I literally woke up from a nap about 5 minutes ago.
I'm proud of you. Here's me complaining it was the technology that Tortor couldn't get stuff to do. Well, we're very lucky. Do you know we're running 20 minutes behind? So if I was on time, you would be asleep.
Oh my god! Yeah. The thing is, like, I went to sleep at like 5 p.m. and I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll wake up by then.
Yeah, and that was not a nap. 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. is a sleep.
All right, don't attack me.
Emmy, welcome to the stream. We're going to get straight into it because we're running out of time on the show. We've got loads of time. It's fine. All is fine. It's LGBT week. Firstly, how do you identify in the sense of all of the letters, all of the things?
So I identify as asexual and biromantic, but I don't really experience romantic attraction very often. And I also quite like the label queer. And my pronouns are she, her.
So, again, with similar, for people watching, what does asexuality mean? How would you describe it to someone?
So asexual just means I don't experience sexual attraction. It's just not something that like clicks in my brain, and it's just not something I experience at all.
And what about aromantic?
Biromantic. So when I do experience romantic attraction, it's very distinct from sexual attraction, and when I do feel it, it's to kind of like whoever. But romantic and sexual attraction are different, and often for most people they line up pretty well, but not exclusively. So as it kind of sounds, people who are not aromantic experience romantic attraction, and people who are not asexual experience sexual attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And often it's quite difficult to find the distinction because the distinction is quite different for different people. But for me, it's like that little bit in a movie where they go from like being out on a date to like going back to the person's flat, and that's my little like.
That's the line. That's
the point.
So because I think in a similar, we've just been talking about being non-binary and in that sense, and about how people use the word gay and what that means. When did you discover the term asexuality?
So I discovered the term asexuality in the summer of 2015. So I was like just turned 16, and I found it through a video that my friend made where she like very briefly mentioned asexuality. And I commented on this video being like, oh yeah, I don't really feel the need to work out my sexuality yet. You know, like I'm just turned 16, like what's the rush? I'll like someone if I like someone, whether that's like a guy, a girl, or whatever. And it never actually could, like, I never actually thought about the fact that actually there's an option to not like anyone. And that was like a big moment for me. And then I kind of did a lot of research on asexuality, and here I am 5 years later. Don't shut up.
It's a thing. So how was coming out? Did you come out as it in a sense?
So I came out on Twitter and to like my friends in maybe October, November of that year of 2015. But I didn't really come out on YouTube or to my mum until I was out to my mum, which was at the beginning of 2017, I believe. Yeah, 2017. So I wanted to talk about it on YouTube, like desperately, because YouTube's like my little diary, you know, like I just want to talk about things. And I didn't want to do that until like I told my mum, because my mum would be able to see this. And I didn't want her to find out through a video. And I didn't want to title it like really vaguely, because I wanted to just be able to do it, you know? So I came out to her at the beginning of 2017. We were in the car on my way to work, and we were talking about like lots of LGBTQ plus topics and how she could include them in her lessons because she's a teacher. And I was like, I could just come up to her like right now, like I could just do this. So I asked her if she knew what asexual meant, and she said no. So I explained it, and then she was like, and then I was like, that's what I am.
That's me.
Yeah. She did do like a kind of very common reaction about like, how do you know it's like you haven't met the right person yet? And I just said like, it's just something that you know on like a base level, that it's just not about finding the right person. And then she said, you can be who you want to be. And I cried.
Oh, well done, your
mum. And now my
mum.
mum's really supportive, obviously, everything.
Well.
And then I started talking about it on YouTube properly.
And so, talking about, I guess, a little bit, sorry, Donna started crying.
Sorry, I had a little moment there.
So, Donna, put yourself together. Serious show today.
Well, it just makes me so happy when I hear things like that. Like and like you know, you're clearly a really lovely person, and it's like it's so nice to know that your mum's been so supportive of it, and genuinely that gives me a warm fuzzy feeling inside. So yay.
So on the topic of looking at, I get to address it. I mean, Jamie, a little bit earlier in the show, Jamie went through kind of the history of pride and rights, and I think the way it's broadly gone is something has been either illegal or it's been classed as like a mental health problem or something very bad. So being gay and being trans, and slowly it kind of been it'd been legalized and then removed from various like mental health things. I believe being trans was only removed as a mental health thing this year or last year.
I think it's very recent.
Out of interest, I'll leave a link after the show is done. A friend of mine called Rowan did an amazing video that is just the timeline of LGBT sort of changes in the law in the UK, and it is staggering to know what years stuff actually changed. So, in terms of asexuality, where does that stand now, and what's kind of a little bit of the history of it?
So, I made a video about kind of like things you didn't know about asexuality. I made a video about that the other day, and in that I was doing kind of a lot of research about kind of things kind of in law that do mention asexuality. So, as you said, a lot of LGBTQ plus identities and sexualities were considered mental illnesses until very recently, and asexuality is kind of included in that. So asexuality was only kind of not mentioned in the DSM in 2013, I think. So often people were diagnosed with like hypoactive sexual desire disorder, and that's when someone experiences like a lack of sexual desire. And it's one of those things that's like the way they describe how someone should be diagnosed is very like nitpicky, in that they go, if it causes severe emotional distress or stuff like that. And I think that's an interesting one, because like knowing that you're asexual and feeling like you're broken and the rest of the world doesn't like feels this thing that you just don't, that can be very distressing, even though it's not like what they're kind of referring to, I guess. But also the definition now says that if the lack of sexual desire is like kind of explained by a self-diagnosis of asexuality, then it's not made. But like they put asexual in these scare quotes almost to say like, yeah, that's your excuse, you know? Yeah. And also you can't like self-identify with something that you don't even know exists. And it's so horrible to know that like people are still diagnosed with like mental
they're diagnosed with what they then think is a mental health condition, rather than knowing that it's just a part of a type of almost personality that so many people identify with.
But also the fact that asexuality is very invisible. It kind of slips under the radar a lot, and it's almost like if you don't experience like sexual or romantic attraction, then like the media doesn't represent you, because that's all the media focuses around: films, adverts, like everything. And then being told by other people in the LGBTQ plus community that you're not a part of Pride because asexuals don't experience any form of discrimination is really heartbreaking, because it's
get out
something I've always seen as a real safe space for me.
100%,
yeah. And obviously I said about asexuals being diagnosed with certain things, but also some people will have to go through like corrective rape, and it's disgusting that you can like hear that fact and then go, yeah, but other people have it worse.
Yeah,
because it's not how it works.
I think so. When you're talking broadly about mental health issues like depression or anxiety, the reason they're defined in a similar way, in the sense of if it's causing you distress, then it's something that's diagnosed as a problem, because both depression and anxiety are two natural human responses to things like, oh, there's a tiger coming at me. Like, if you don't react to that, you're not doing well. Or, oh, there's a global pandemic, I'm going to go into a depression, because that's a very natural thing. But it sounds like by diagnosing something like asexuality as a mental condition, it is almost the diagnosing of saying that there's something wrong that is causing the distress. It isn't like you are just that is just you, and it's almost people saying that is wrong. You shouldn't be like that. You're broken. That is the thing that causes the distress. And so I sort of have this huge respect for you, sort of, and the asexual community being like, there's nothing wrong with this. This is just it's just me. Where's my movie? Number one. Number two, where's my inclusion in the community? What are you doing? And number three, just stop. It angers me. But Yeah, the reason I wanted to bring Emmy on today is this video you mentioned. I watched it when you brought it out. Was it yesterday or the day before?
A couple of days ago. I don't really know, but I put it on Instagram as well, which is... I
will share it after the stream. I think it's really, really important. I thought it was really well made because it really kind of...
I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing research for a university project. I do media, of course, but I'm researching about asexuality in media, and I found some of the facts that I kind of said in that video whilst I was researching that, and then I just thought, I've got to like put all of this stuff in one video, because there's no actual things that you don't know about asexuality. Like, it's like it's all well and good to have so many asexuality 101 things that asexual people want you to know about, like how they're not broken, how they can have relationships and stuff like that. But then I also wanted to make something kind of for the asexual community that people might not know. And my friend did the editing on the video. His link's in the description of it, and he did an absolutely incredible job. And it really helps make the video like everything I wanted it to be.
Makes it pop. Amazing.
It really does.
Well, Emmy, your top is very appropriate today. Do you know why? Because you were a star, Emmy.
Oh, thank
There we go.
you.
Star. Love Emmy to bits. If you want to follow Emmy on all the things, you should do. It's pretty much at Embly99 on...
Yeah, on anything.
everything.
Absolutely anything.
Look at that. She claimed those handles nice and early. That is a social media...
I've even got Emmy Salidas saved for the future.
Oh, well done. That's what we like to see.
Let me tell you, the dot between WillCarne on Instagram angers me on a daily basis. Emmy, it's been wonderful. We are now going to go over to part 3 of Don't Whack It Till You Tried It. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Emmy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello.
Why's your head cut?
And welcome back to part 3 of...
I'm sorry, I'll do whack it. It's been a long day. I just melted 2 packs of Milky Bar chocolate buttons. So we're gonna get a ball, just gently. I think we've got these from Disneyland, like ratatouille steak thing.
Go to Disneyland Paris, go to the ratatouille restaurant.
So this is the point where if you have cake sticks, which is what this recipe is meant to be, you put the sticks into them, and I think you freeze them again at that point. But then you just you dip them into the chocolate so that the chocolate coats it all, and then put them on some grease-proof paper, and then put them in the fridge to set. And if you want sprinkles, you can put sprinkles on top.
Right, let's go for it.
Let's do it. Okay, what colour would you like? Oh, that was a stupid question.
Do you know what? It's really annoying.
What?
That looks really good.
I was going to say, how do I get it?
After all this, that looks really
of
good.
little face.
That was the best one, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so. Boom!
Yay.
Wow. Is that it now? Can we go and eat them later?
Yeah. Should we film them being put in the fridge?
No. So how did that go?
Well, I think it went better than I expected. The only thing I'm disappointed about is the colours, but I feel like that was out of our hands. That's had a nice day.
Have you?
I think even though this is long, it's in steps, so you can do one step, watch the floors lava, have a snack, do the next step. Yeah.
Let's see how they taste in the studio. Welcome back. What was that? Oh,
Sorry.
you all right?
Yeah, I thought I'd taken my headphones off.
Crazy. All of the things. Wonderful. Before we do that, hold on a sec. We got our new guest coming up very shortly. But before we do that, we have to try the treats from Don't Whack It Till You Tried It. And here it is. Ooh. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they look like, Donna. Take one.
Oh, that one there.
That's a big one. Our guest has just got to watch us eat these.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I'm going to have. Right, what you've got to do is you've got to take a bite and then examine what it looks like inside.
How's that
Right, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
That looks awful.
No
What is
napkins,
that?
I see.
What is that?
Going to be like really classy here. Do not put me on camera.
Show us it. Show us it. Oh, down the camera. That's really good.
That's really good.
Look at
Purple and green
Look at mine.
and yellow and
What
pink.
happened to this one? Oh, yeah.
They're very sweet, but they're really nice.
They are really good. Good. Success.
Oh, well done.
Oh, amazing.
When I
can't
say
hit
well
buttons.
done, I mean well done, Aisha, obviously.
I don't appreciate that. Right.
Look. It's like proper little rainbow.
It's a natural rainbow.
It's an actual rainbow.
Amazing.
Very impressed.
Right. Please welcome. Say something.
Hello.
Amazing. Please welcome the wonderful, the one, the only. Are you like swallowing badly? You saw him win. Do you know what? I'm just going to cut to it. I can't. I'm too busy eating to do things. Yes, you have a mug.
Yay!
Please welcome the wonderful Cody. Cody, hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm, as you can tell, very good. How have you been? How's your lockdown been since we last spoke?
It's been alright, yeah, I'm kind of getting bored of it now, so, going back to work next week, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, nice. Getting out the house at last.
Finally.
Amazing. I actually don't have a mug today. Donna's just very excitedly showing me rainbows.
It's a rainbow. Sorry.
Donna, Cody is here. I've completely lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Amazing.
It's my fault.
So we're also going to get straight to it. So in terms of LGBTQ+ community, how do you identify? What realm would you say you slot into? I see a flag behind you, and I love it. Tell me all the things.
Yeah, it's a pansexual flag.
We stan a pansexual flag.
Yeah. But I identify as female to male transgender, and my pronouns are he, him.
Amazing. So, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about your journey as like a whistle-stop tour. When did you realise that you were transgender?
When I was I kept it a secret that I was trans for 10 years, and I never came out because I was afraid to of what my parents would think. But I felt this way since I was till the age of 7, and I like when I hit my teenage years. Like I have 2 younger brothers and I have an older sister, so I was like growing up. I was like really jealous of my brothers and like being able to like be themselves, and I was just like, I'm kind of sitting here going, what the hell, like why do I have to like fight for what I want to be, and they can just be born that way. And it was really hard, like, and I didn't have anyone to come out to, and then there was actually someone in my secondary school who came out as trans, and they were actually one of my best friends, and I was dating them at the time, and he came out as trans to me. I was like, oh, this might ruin our relationship, but I think I'm trans. And then I was kind of like, I think I was identifying as like a gender fluid back then, so it was kind of a bit of both. But when he said that, I was just like, oh my god, that's how I felt. And then that's when I decided my auntie, she's actually part of the LGBT community as well. She's gay, and we were in Dublin one day, and we were in a coffee shop, and I was completely silent, and she was kind of weirded out by it because she was like, why is Cody like so silent? He normally like talks forever. And I kind of basically said to her, I was like, there's a person in my school that's trans, like what do you think about it? So I kind of just put that on her to see her reaction, and then if she had a positive reaction, I was going to tell her. And then she was just like, oh, that's really cool, like I'm so proud of him for that. And then I didn't get to tell her because I was just so anxious, so I sent her a text on the bus home, and she was so accepting. So, and I people ask me how do I come out, and sometimes I just say you'd better off doing it over text if you really can't, because it's such a nerve-wracking thing to do,
And so how was that first discussion when you sort of met face to face after that text?
Um, it was really hard because, like, like I didn't really know what to say because I was debating for all that weekend to tell her, and but I said to her, she was just like, okay, do you want to tell your mom and dad, or do you want me to tell them for you? And I was like, I don't. And I was going home at that stage. I was like, I'm not telling mom and dad because I have to walk in that front door and can face what's going to happen. And she was like, all right, I'll tell them about it. And they came home, and I walked in the door, and my dad was like, Cody, come here, I need to talk to you. And I was going like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I'm either going to get kicked out or something else is going to happen. And then he was like, we just had a phone call from your auntie saying that you want to transition and you want to be a male. And then I was just like, yeah, I felt that like for years. And then my dad was kind of, both of my parents were like, oh no, it's just a phase. Like, it's something you're going through. You're only in your teenage years. Your hormones all over the place. Like, this is not something that is actually real. And they said, oh, they'll just blow over like in a few days. And then after that conversation, I was up in my room and I was like crying my eyes out for the whole night. And my dad came to me the next day and he said, because I had really bad mental health issues before that, and he came to me and said, look, this is something that we need to get looked at now, and this is before anything gets too serious. So that's when they kind of accepted it. But funny enough, my older sister Katie, that was on the show as well, we used to share a bedroom, and when I came out as trans, she actually got kicked out because my dad was like, oh, he needs his own space now. So but she actually knew for a couple of years, because when I came out, she was like, oh my God, that's actually no surprise. Like, I kind of knew that. So it was kind of nice, but she didn't really know that I was actually going to say it.
So we talked to Tortor a little bit earlier about being non-binary. How did at any point you sort of settle on, because I believe you fully transitioned. What is sort of your thinking behind the difference of being I have been born in the wrong body versus more, I guess, the I do not align with these stereotypes assigned to the gender? How does that sort of split?
Well, I suppose for me, like once I came out as trans, like the one thing that I needed to do to get myself to keep myself here was to transition, and there was no in, like, I suppose, difference between non-binary and trans. Like, some people that are non-binary do go on hormones, or some people don't, or they don't go near it at all. But for me, like, I was born in the wrong body, so I needed to transition straight away, and I needed those surgeries and the hormone treatment to be able to live who I was, because if I didn't get that, then it would have caused a lot of distress with me. And it's also, the whole waiting thing is ridiculous here as well. But I suppose it's just wanting to transition straight away, and it's kind of hard because when you come out, you have to give your parents time as well to kind of get on board with it, and you can't really go to them, oh, I want this and I want that straight away. But it's such a hard waiting game. But it's something that I had to do fast and quick because of my mental health issues. But it got sorted within the last couple of years, so that's kind of where I am at with it.
So what was sort of the timeline from deciding you wanted to medically transition to going on testosterone to having top surgery?
So I came out in 2015, and I was referred to the CAMS, which is the Adolescent Services for people that were under 18. And I was turning 18 within, I think it was like a week of that, so I had to get referred to the adult services. But after my counselling sessions, I got referred to Loughlinstown, which is the gender clinic here in Ireland. And I was put on a waiting list, which is supposed to be 10 months long, but it turned out to be a year, which wasn't too bad. Nowadays, looking back, the waiting list to get access to hormones is 2 years long. So I started testosterone on the 21st of July in 2018. So I was waiting from the day I was getting referred, which was the start of 2016. I was waiting quite a year to get on hormones. So it wasn't too bad compared to what other people were waiting. So,
and did you face any backlash from, once your parents had sort of had time to come to terms with it in your family, did you face any backlash from people saying that you shouldn't have transitioned?
No, not at all. I think like for me, like I was before I was even came out, I was attending an LGBT group called Chill Out here in Waterford, and the people, my friends that were in it, they didn't actually know I was trans. They just thought I was male. So then when I came out as trans, they were all like really confused. They thought I was going the other way. So like I got no backlash from anyone. Like it was more like, huh? Wait, what? Yeah. So I'm very lucky because I do know a lot of people who have got backlash, but I suppose my parents and my whole family are very open people. You know, they're very interested to learn more and support people whatever way they can. And I mean, at the start, they did say it was just a phase, but then they kind of looked back and said, hang on a minute, he's after having severe mental health issues. This kind of adds up as to why we're coming out with this. But, you know, like, I'm very lucky I haven't experienced any backlash.
And so, again, we talked a lot about your gender and how almost immediately, as soon as you got to the age where you could kind of come to terms with your gender and explore that, you felt like something was wrong. How, on the flip side, do you feel about sexuality, and how does that differ, and how has your relationship been with identifying your sexuality sort of over this period?
Well, my sexuality has been very confusing for the last I don't know how long.
But still,
like,
the duration of this phone call.
Yeah, like I never really put a label on it, but my best friend Luke, like I met him back in 2015, and he's also trans, and he's been telling me, I've known for four years now, and he's been telling me every single day, going, Cody, you're gay, you just don't know it. And I'm just like, okay, but I don't really know. I mean, like I was dating a girl like last year, but then this year I kind of was like, hold on a minute, wait, maybe Luke is right, maybe I am gay, and now it's just like really confusing. So like I don't really have like a label on my sexuality. Like I just go with the flow, really. Like whatever happens, like I don't really care. Like as long as the person treats me right and like we get along, I don't really care what gender they are. So
I feel like I've got that to that point too. I tried being fussy and just very single. So now it's just like anything, just email me. No.
Yeah.
So
I suppose it's nice for me because I kind of prefer to like, I suppose, like go out with like trans guys because they kind of know what you're going through. Because as Tortor said, like when people find out, when you start dating, it's a very scary thing, because when people find out you're trans, they're kind of like, oh, what does that make me then? And then like they're kind of like, what the hell does that mean? You have this and that, and it's really scary. So that's why I like to put myself towards trans guys, which is nicer because we can relate to each other, you know.
I find it very interesting because LGBT plus covers both sexualities and genders and a few other things. But it's interesting that they are kind of intrinsically different, but then connected, because changing gender by nature changes the name that is attached to the sexuality, even if it doesn't mean sexuality. Yeah. So pansexuality, do you want to explain what that means to someone who doesn't? I mean, you kind of have,
yeah. So pansexuality, what I would see that I would just date someone based on their personality. So I wouldn't really it wouldn't matter what they look like or what they were like interested. Like it's mainly like what mainly on the personality. It doesn't matter what gender they are. It doesn't matter what they look like. Like I know people would be like different and they would date based on their looks, but I'm not like that. I go for someone based on their personality because I think that's just a better way to do it. So that's kind of the broad way. And pansexuality is not being in love with pans. Can I just say that?
It has nothing to do with strange Greek gods.
No,
nothing to do with saucepans or frying pans.
Very important. You need to get that out there. If there are any questions for Cody, do let me know in the comments. We've got a little bit of time. Donna, any questions from you? I'm going to ask.
I'm just absolutely fascinated, and obviously Cody, you know, you're right in front of me. So, like, thank you to you and to Emmy and to Tortor, because this, honestly, it's been one incredibly illuminating, and also I just think you're all so brave, and to be that open and that honest with people. I just, well done you.
Thank you.
We love that. And the best thing about all of them, maybe let's hope Tortor's watching. I can't say it. No, Tortor, Cody, and Emmy. Like, all of this aside, such wonderful people. You're talented. You're all YouTubers. You've got YouTube
the most
channels.
important bit. They're all wonderful people.
All wonderful
All the
people
other bits
on
are,
the side.
Yeah.
But they also, like, to have got to where you are now is just amazing. And it's not fair that there's been any kind of prejudice or any kind of backlash. And the whole point of Pride as a celebration, as a mark of activism, is for people like you, like me, like Emmy, Tortor, and anyone watching who is born just slightly different to other people, to the Donnas of the world. The normal.
Then, not generally a word that's used in the same sentence as Donna.
Donna in the category of normal, and we are somehow queer. But it's all about I think it's very important. Sorry, let me just people just loving you, Cody, in the chat as always.
I was just gonna say that if you would want to watch my YouTube channel, I don't really post on it anymore because I've been doing a lot of work with the trans community since. So I've kind of focused my head in my work with working with young people.
Cody, you're amazing. Your Instagram, I believe, is very active. Is that true?
Yeah, I post there every day, and plus my TikTok as well.
TikTok. Oh yes, I have a link.
I don't understand TikTok.
Donna, look, we do not have time to teach you the intricacies of TikTok. I will leave a link to Cody's TikTok in the description because I was about to read it out, but it's if you're interested, it's jday8vx as a tiktok.com. Such that amazing. Sweet. We still need to work on our TikTok together. I feel like that needs to happen. Maybe it could happen.
Yes.
What do we got? I'm just reading some of the comments. People are just loving Cody. Right, that's it. It's not the WillCarne show anymore. Donna is wiggling a finger.
Wiggling her finger. This means I want to speak.
Yeah, go for it, Donna.
Doesn't usually stop me. I just wanted to just say the expression pansexual is not really one I've been aware of it, but didn't really know what it meant. So actually, that was a really useful, little description. So thank you very much. But the thing that then just occurred to me is, shouldn't we all be pansexual? Because it is just about falling for somebody or wanting to be with somebody because of who they are, and none of the other stuff that goes along with it.
# shouldn't we all be pansexual?
There you go.
Well, funny enough, my dad is convinced that pansexual is actually gay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure.
I think there's also a clash between bisexuality and pansexuality, because everyone knows what bisexual means nowadays, whereas pansexual is a term people haven't really heard of.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So I say I'm bisexual all the time, even though I'd probably be classed as pansexual. But if I say I'm pansexual, people think I love saucepans. So we just go with it.
Keep you out of Lakeland.
That's why sometimes I just say I'm gay, because I'm just
gay.
People are like, what are pansexual? I'm just like, I'm not explaining it anymore.
Like Emmy earlier, she just said queer. Queer is great. It's been reclaimed. It just means I'm not like you, but I could love you, so please.
Yeah.
The thing to point out, that's very wrong. Pansexual is not gay, unless gay is just an umbrella term, which it could also mean. Words are just words.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what matters is Cody is Cody, and we stand Cody.
Fab.
And as soon as I'm allowed on a plane, I'm going to fly to Ireland. So what are you going to do?
You were supposed to be here when you went to Belfast.
We don't talk about that time of my life, Cody. I've just knocked many things on the floor. Cody, thank you so much for joining us again. Genuine pleasure. I'm sure I'll see you again on a later show. But for now.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking me.
Right. Au revoir. Cody, you're a star. star. You're a star. Bye. Bye, Cody. Amazing.
Bye.
Au
I'm waving,
revoir.
you can't see me.
Yeah, Donna was waving, trust me. Sweet. So, all that is left to say, we had behind closed doors, we had some Pride-specific problems. We had games. I'm not even on screen. We had so much to do, but unfortunately we have completely run out of time. I need to hit a button. Any ideas what the button is?
Well, I mean, there's so many buttons there. I mean, I could just lean over and hit one. Might not be
many buttons. All of the buttons. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Nice. Do you like the beautiful tones? Thank you, everyone. Turn down. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Pride special. Now, let me tell you about next week, because the next few weeks are insane on this show. Like, insane. I'm so excited. Next week is the rather large quiz of the lockdown with 6. You did not hear me incorrectly. 6 special guests and so many other things. It's going to be mad. You can play along at home. We're going to be live on all social medias, probably, who knows. And I, for one, am exciting. Make sure you push the like button wherever you are. If you want to rewatch this, head over to youtube.com/Carne, and it will be available to rewatch with the quiz. Not with the quiz, with the chat. I just saw Sapphire say quiz and it made me say things. All that's left for me to say is thank you so much, Donna. Thank you to Cody, Emmy, Tortor, and I've been me and you've been you, and keep being yourselves. Doesn't stop him. I'm using last week's credits, everyone. All right? God. We've done that. Just imagine it says something. Bye, everyone. Goodbye.